Welcome back to Design Craze, and we are going to have our second class of PHP learning. We are going to learn today how to print something on PHP. If you want to print something on your browser, so you just need to write down echo, okay? Echo. Then if you want to write something, you must cover them within quotation mark, I mean single quotation mark or double quotation mark. For example, hello world. And of course, another rule is you must end the line with a semicolon. That's very important. Okay, so if we save the file from file, save or control S, if we refresh the page, you see we got the hello world we wrote here. So the fact is we need to have single quotation or double quotation, any of them, and you can just put any text inside that and that will be printed by echo, and you must end every single line with semicolon. Okay, so the same thing happened here. We are going to learn today constant, variable and data type. What is constant, what is variable, what is data type? Okay, so as we told before, we need to start the PHP and we need to end the PHP. Okay, so yeah, actually we can even ignore the ending of the PHP section, but for now we will put that here. Okay, so if you want to comment some texts inside your PHP code, for example, you have this constant, variable and data type here, and if you just refresh the page, you will see that there's some error here. Okay, if you write down echo test, you can make a comment here, this is a testing line. But if you don't comment this section, then PHP will think that this is also a coding line, and it will make an error statement. Okay, so you need to comment this line or all of these lines. Okay, so how to comment them, I'll show you. Look, here's no error right now. Okay, so to comment anything, you need to do double slash, you need to put double slash before them, something like this, something like this, something like this. Or if you want to comment multi lines, you can start with slash star and end with star slash, and that will also make the comment. Okay, so if you refresh, the same thing happened. So we are going to learn today constant, variable and data type. What is constant? Constant is the value or the thing that you can't change. Okay, so for example, if a is constant, so you can change the value of a, that means a is constant. But what is variable? If you are able to change the value of a, if the value of a is sometimes 5 and sometimes 6, then it's a variable. But if the value of a is always 5 or always 6, that means it's a constant. So how to define a constant and how to define a variable? So it's very simple. In PHP, you need to do, if you want to define constant, you need to write down define first bracket. Of course, you need to end it with semicolon. Okay, look here, I just put the semicolon first, and after that I'm going to define the constant. First quotation mark, you can use double quotation or single quotation, and inside this you need to write down the constant name. For example, it is my constant. After completing the name, you need to put a comma and put again a quotation mark, and you need to write down the value. For example, we wrote down green. So here we defined my constant and its value is green. If now we echo that my constant and end it with semicolon, which is very important, if we refresh the page, we see the value is echoed here, green. Okay, echo my constant as the value of my constant is green. We found the green here. Now we are going to define a variable. How to define a variable? You need to put a dollar sign, and this dollar sign means variable. Okay, and you need to write down the name, my var. If there is a dollar sign before any text, that means that's a variable, and you can end it with a semicolon. That means we have added a variable but the value is not assigned. So we just defined the variable but the value isn't assigned. You can also assign the value of this variable by putting an equal sign and any value here. There are different types of data type that can be assigned inside a variable. I mean, here you can see that we put a text within a quotation mark, right? Inside a quotation mark. So that's a kind of data type. So what data type we have? We can write them down here. String is a data type. Int is a data type. Well, array is an data type, and float is a data type, and bool means actually boolean, so we can write boolean is a data type. There are many different data types, but the most useful data types are string, integer, float, boolean, array. So we can comment them here, and we'll see how to use different data types. So what we put here is a string. A string data type means having on or more than on characters. I mean, any set of characters, that may be a number, that may be a symbol, or that may be anything. I mean, maybe an alphabet. Okay, so for example, this is SDF, DSF, or for example we can write down design craze. That means two words here, design and craze. This is a string. If we want to echo that, we can echo that easily by writing down echo, and we don't need to write down design craze. Rather than, we can tell that come on, echo this variable my var, and we can easily recognize it with the dollar sign. If we refresh the page, we can see the design craze, the value is printed. So one thing we should remember, that string type data should be inside single quotation or double quotation, otherwise there will be an error. Okay, so this is a string type variable. What is int or integer? Integer is a number, a full number, either it's positive or it's negative or it's zero. It won't have any fraction or decimal places. So we can define another variable, my number equal to my number equal 3. This is an integer, and we don't need to put it inside a quotation mark because this is a number, and with if it's not a string, you can easily put it without quotation mark. So if we echo my number, we echo to my number, you see, if we echo my number, it's 3 and without quotation mark. Float means a fractional number, maybe 3.56. so if you see 3.56. Boolean, that means true or false, yes or no actually. So when it's true it will return 1, when it's false it will return 0. It returned actually nothing, that means 0. Okay, 0 or nothing. So we're not gonna see the array because array is a little bit bigger and we need to understand what array is in detailed way. That's why we didn't discuss this array here. Okay, one more thing is, the best part is in other programming language we need to say that this is a string, this is an integer, but in PHP you don't need to say the program that this is a string. PHP automatically recognize which one is a string or which one is number or which one is boolean. Okay, see you soon in our next episode.